Please rise and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning and welcome to RPtv. Today is Tuesday, January 14, 2020. The movement to ban flavored vapes has been growing throughout the country, and now it is coming to New Jersey, and to the attention of Governor Murphy. Eli has that report.
The state Senate and the state assembly voted to pass the measure that would ban flavored vaping products in the Garden State. The measure now goes to Governor Phil Murphy, who has until January 21st to sign or veto it. Getting flavored vaping products off the market would protect our youth. Assemblyman Herb Conaway said that in a statement. If we don't, we will have another generation of young people addicted to nicotine when we were so close to reducing widespread dependency on this chemical. Both houses of the legislature also voted to pass a bill that would increase penalties on those who sold vaping products to minors. Murphy called last year to ban flavored vaping devices and products in the state. As of last week, more than 2,600 people have been hospitalized and 57 have died after a mysterious lung illness associated with vaping across the U.S. Critics of vaping argue flavored e-cigarettes attract young people, creating a new generation of smokers. But former cigarette smokers say vaping has helped them to quit, and the industry has bolstered small businesses without flavors on their shelves. Though the small vaping shop owners say that they will lose nearly all of their customers. The bill initially included a ban on menthol cigarettes, but State Senate President told the press last week that lawmakers have removed that provision.
While many people believe that it's a good idea to ban the use of plastic and paper bags, there were just enough lawmakers to disagree. Rihanna can tell us all about it.
The efforts to ban plastic and paper bags has been underway, but it will have to wait a little longer. The State Senate voted for an amendment bill on Monday that will ban single-use plastic and paper bags, styrofoam, and food containers, effective within 2 years. The amendment also includes the giving of plastic straws to customers in restaurants only if requested. The Assembly, however, did not vote on the latest version of the bill. It will have to be reintroduced and voted on again in the next legislative session because the current one ends today at noon. A statewide ban on plastic bags has yet to be implemented, but several towns already ban plastics. Earlier versions of the bill proposed a $5 tax on single-use bags, and another required stores and restaurants to ban single-use bags within a year and styrofoam within 2. State Senator Bob Smith says the longer we wait, the more damage we do to the environment and to our public health. Senate President Stephen Sweeney called it a reasonable compromise, giving everyone 2 years to get in line.
Now, time for announcements. Lost and found. If you lost AirPods or jewelry, please check at the desk in the main office. Interact will be holding their next meeting today in room 1 after school. Everyone is invited to attend. See Mr. Fucci or Rebecca Rodriguez with any questions. Polka Club is selling shirts and hats for Black History Month. If interested, please see a Polka Club member or email Ms. Arango at varango@rpsd.org. Order forms are due Thursday, January 16th. Anime Club meeting Thursday, January 16th and Thursday, 23rd after school in room 105. French Club meetings, New Movie Day, Ratatouille, Wednesday, January 15th after school in the library. Wednesday, January 22nd after school in room 3. Art Club and National Art Honor Society will be meeting Fridays after school in room 102 during the school year. We are working on projects and sometimes exploring new media. Join us. Attention all juniors. Check your school email for an important message regarding song suggestions for the Junior Gala. You can make suggestions via email or leave one in Ms. Hernandez's mailbox in the office. Gala will be held at the Westwood in Garwood on Thursday, February 27th. More detail to follow. Today, after school, there will be a golf interest meeting in room 113. New golfers are welcome. See Mr. Flatley for any questions. Softball meeting Tuesday, January 14th, 2:45, room 6. All players varsity and JV. Today, there is a bowling varsity match at 3 p.m. versus Arthur L. Johnson at Jersey Lanes Bowling Alley. At 4 p.m., there is a girls varsity basketball game versus Rahway at Rahway High School. At 4 p.m., there is a boys varsity basketball game versus David Burley at Roselle Park High School. Following at 5:30, a boys JV game versus David Burley at Roselle Park High School. Tomorrow, January 15th at 3 p.m., bowling varsity match versus Rahway at Jersey Lanes. JV boys wrestling match at 6 p.m. following a wrestling boys varsity match at 7 p.m. versus Plainfield at Roselle Park High School. Our final story this morning takes us back to Bound Brook and the scene of the devastating fire. But today's story shows the strength and support that people have for each other in the times of tragedy. Let's go back to Eli for the details.
A New Jersey restaurant called the Chimney Brock Inn is serving free pizza to firefighters and police officers who helped extinguish the 7-alarm fire Sunday in Bound Brook. The fire spread onto 2 apartment buildings that were under construction and also damaged other structures, which caused more than 100 residents to evacuate. Roaring flames spread to both sides of the street in the borough's downtown commercial district near the NJ Transit train station, causing the train station to shut down during the day. The restaurant owner said that our hearts are with everyone in the Bound Brook community affected by the fire. We're open during our regular business hours today on Thompson Avenue and are offering free pizza to the first responders who were on the scene.
Stay tuned, we will be right back. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and stay tuned for CNN 10.
This is CNN 10, your objective explanation of world news in 10 minutes. And I'm Carl Azus, welcoming our viewers from around the world. Our first subject this January 14th is flu season. The United States is in it right now. It's typically at its worst between December and February, but this one started early. Health officials say it began in late September and that it's been a bad season already. The Centers for Disease Control, a government health agency, estimated that there had been at least 9.7 million cases of flu in America by early January, that 87,000 people had been hospitalized because of it, and that 4,800 people had died from the flu or the complications it can cause. The particular strains of the virus that are spreading this year are more likely to hit children and young adults, and this year's vaccine is not an exact match, according to a recent report, meaning it may not be as effective as flu vaccines in other years. The CDC says overall, the vaccine's about 40 to 60% effective at preventing the flu, but it also says it's the best way to protect yourself from the virus. There are some silver linings to this flu season. Even though flu activity was considered high in 33 states at the beginning of the year, it had dropped a bit. Doctors don't know yet if that means the worst of the flu is behind us. It could still go up again, but they're watching closely to see if it tapers off. Another hopeful sign is that across all age groups, the number of deaths and hospitalizations from the flu is relatively low this time around. That may be because most of those who die from the flu are elderly, and this year's strains are affecting younger people more than them.
It's always scary when you hear of someone dying from something as common as the flu. There are four main ways the flu can turn deadly. The first and most common cause is pneumonia. The influenza virus can directly cause viral pneumonia. Once someone has the flu, it can weaken their immune system so much that another virus or bacteria can enter the lungs. Infected lungs fill with fluid, making it difficult to breathe, so oxygen can't get to the rest of the body, which can lead to death. Sepsis is the second way the flu can become lethal, especially in healthy younger adults and children. Sepsis occurs when a person's immune system goes into overdrive trying to fight the flu. This causes inflammation, which can lead to a cascade of symptoms that ultimately ends in organ failure. A third way the flu can kill is by increasing your risk of heart attack. Experts say an adult's risk of heart attack increases sixfold in the 7 days following a flu diagnosis. The fourth way the flu can kill is by dehydration, particularly among infants and young children. The flu often causes vomiting and diarrhea, which can quickly become life-threatening if fluids aren't replaced in the body. So if you get the flu, when should you be worried? Some people have a higher risk for serious complications from the flu, including the elderly, children under the age of 5, pregnant women, and those with chronic health problems. If this is you, make sure you see a doctor. If you're a healthy older child or adult, watch out for sudden dizziness, severe or persistent vomiting, difficulty breathing, pain or pressure in the chest or abdomen, and flu-like symptoms that improve then return with a fever or worse cough.
10-second trivia. Which of these nations is located on the eastern side of the South China Sea? Vietnam, Indonesia, Philippines, or Malaysia? Tough question, but it's the Philippines, whose capital is Manila, that's located east of the South China Sea. A state of emergency has been declared near that capital because of a recent eruption at the Taal volcano. It's not the most active one in the Philippines, but volcanologists say Taal is very dangerous because it's erupted in the past and because it's located near populated areas. The United Nations estimates that more than 450,000 people live in the volcano's danger zone. The state of emergency means schools are closed so they, along with local convents, can be used as shelters. Government offices are also closed and flights have been canceled because volcanic ash can melt inside jet engines and badly damage them.
After more than 40 years of relative peace and quiet, Taal volcano, one of the smallest in the world, started making a whole lot of noise.
We were afraid and in a panic. We're thinking of how we can save our lives.
It all started Sunday afternoon, about 60 kilometers south of the Philippine capital of Manila. A violent eruption, sending steam, ash, and rock, roughly 15 kilometers into the sky, raining down on the roughly 25 million people like Noel Suarez living below.
It's difficult to get food because it's difficult to move. We cannot use the vehicle since it's muddy, and we cannot even clean it since there's no water. Almost everything is a problem now, and then you have the volcano spewing again.
And after nearly 150 small earthquakes, Philippine officials believe it's going to get worse before it gets better. Nearly 500,000 residents have been ordered to evacuate immediately, believing another much larger eruption and possible tsunami could be imminent.
The real hazard is that it has the potential for explosions.
That's volcanologist Eric Clementi. He says that despite Tall's small stature, it's one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world, a volcano with a deadly past, claiming more than 1,300 lives in 1911 and another 190 in 1965.
So the people living nearby, the combination of explosions and a large population can really are the things that volcanologists really hope don't get combined.
A combination that could be fatal and has already proven to be destructive.
While that region probably isn't the best vacation destination, at least until the volcano calms down, this is one time of year when folks make plans to travel for spring breaks, summer breaks, spring weddings, summer weddings, ski vacations, beach vacations, or just to get away. CNN recently sat down with travel expert Samantha Brown, who's been talking travel on TV for 20 years.
I have been traveling as a career now for 20 years. Being stressed about time is the worst thing you can do. And the way to take away 90% of your stress is to get there in time. And by that I mean, I always base my arrival to the airport on the boarding time of my flight, not the departure time. Just this year alone, I have been on 45 flights through 88 airports. I've checked in and out of 32 hotels. Hello, how are you? Nice to see you. Oh gosh, I want everything here. The best thing you can do to connect with locals is smile and say hello. And if you are in another country, the most important words to know in that language are hello, please, and thank you. That is it. I always try to know how to say, may I please have, because I feel like as travelers, we're consumers, we're always asking for things. We always need something, whether it's a bathroom or like a really good flaky croissant. And so if I know how to say that in the most polite form, that makes the connection right there. I think I'm gonna have, I wanted to try your tuna melt on the Park Slope sourdough, please.
Okay.
I think one piece of advice that I could give everyone when vacations turn bad or when you arrive somewhere and it wasn't your expectation is that you need to take a moment, breathe, and adapt. Travel's purpose is never to be perfect. We are creatures of habit. We are now out of our habit. We're out of our daily rituals. Let that sink in and don't judge a situation immediately. But you should never, ever cancel your vacation to go home. You have to stick with it. Absolutely. Just canceling it is the worst thing you can do. Oh, thank you so much. So I love places like this, just these small local cafes. I come here probably every other day when I'm home. And it's actually one of my biggest travel tips that I give people. If you are in a place for more than 2, 3, 4 days, create a ritual. Go to the same cafe every single day. And then if I have any sort of courage, I can just turn to someone and say, hey, where should I have dinner? Right? What should I do next? So it's just kind of starting a conversation, being in a local place, and then relying on locals to take you to that next step.
Sticking with our travel theme, if you've ever been on a ship or ferry in the open sea, you might have spotted dolphins swimming alongside. So did some firefighters from the Naples, Florida Fire Rescue Department. Last week, they posted this video on their Facebook page and called it "Dolphins Came to Play." One fireman described the scene as a perk of having the best job in the world in the beautiful city of Naples. #blessed. It's no fish story and it's no tall tale. Thanks to their newfound fame, the Dolphins got their very own fin club. And it's no fluke, it's opened so many dorsals, and if they use their melons, you can expect them to be beaked to flex their pectoral flippers once more. I'm Carl Zeus, and that is CNN 10. The students of Roselle Middle School know all about it. It's great to see you guys in Batavia, Illinois, and thanks for subscribing and commenting on yesterday's show at youtube.com/CNN.